When Ashleigh was young, her dad worked really long hours, was very busy. So when he had time to spend with his children, he wanted to make sure he had really good quality time with them. So he would take them to community places, galleries, parks, other venues, and while he got to spend good time with them, he got to get an appreciation of all the places that we have that are so wonderful in our community. One of those places was the Norton Art Gallery, and the time Ashleigh spent with her dad there is where she developed a love for art, so much so that she went to college and got her major in art history. Today, Ashleigh is a parent also, and she likes to spend quality time with her child. She takes him to galleries and parks and other venues in town, but mostly they build stuff with Legos. So when Ashleigh's not playing with her Legos, she is working at her dream job, at the very place where she learned to love art with her father. Please welcome Ashleigh Newberry-Mills with the Norton Art Gallery.
Hi guys, it's so nice to see you. My dad is famous for taking me to the Norton because he told me lots of things that are very, very incorrect about the beautiful paintings in hallways. My dad's on the board for Sci-Board, and so he knows all things scientific, is a chemical engineer, very logical. For a very long time, I thought Captain Shreve had 2 left feet. Should not believe your father, who knows absolutely nothing about art. But at 8 years old, I was very impressionable, and he was my hero. And so I appreciate the things he taught me when I was much younger. And I've loved this city since I was very young, because, like she said, my dad had me running the streets in downtown Shreveport. I could not even count the hours I spent at the Barnwell. I was at Sci-Board the day it opened, not the one that's currently open, the first one. They gave me my first pet, a pair of Madagascar and cockroaches. I am so proud. I know, right? It's frightening. I'm so proud to be working in a city that I love and I'm honored to call home. And I'm so proud to work for a foundation that is such a gift to this community. So let me start with the history of the Norton before we get any further. This gentleman you see here is R.W. Norton Sr. Sr. is one of the original discoverers of the Rhodessa oil field. We're all adults and we know exactly what that means. I have to explain to the little kids that he would build a bat cave because he had lots of money to do that with. And they seem to get it all of a sudden. Senior really developed a taste for Hudson River School paintings, early American landscapes. And so he purchased them to put in his estate and in his office building. Now, when Senior died in 1940, his son, R.W. Norton Jr., wanted to do something for the community in his honor. And so he started the R.W. Norton Art Foundation in 1946. The foundation acquired all of Senior's personal purchases, and then Junior appointed himself director on the board of control and expanded upon that collection. Most people know us for our collection of Western works. That's mostly because Junior would have been a cowboy if his mother would have let him. So our Remingtons, Russells, all of the firearms that we have in the gallery are really Junior's particular taste and pieces that he acquired. But he did plan the gallery in a very, very smart way. He acquired pieces that complemented his father's original collection, which is why there are so many Hudson River School pieces in our museum, beautiful American landscapes that you can see sprinkled throughout the entire gallery. And people quite frequently ask me about them because they are just so stunning and bright and colorful. Junior oversaw the building of the original museum, the main part of the building. I'm young enough, I don't really remember when there wasn't at least the south wing. And so he had the gallery open to the public in 1966. After he passed away, his widow, Miss Margaret, took over the gallery. There's the gallery in 1966. Miss Margaret took over the gallery and she expanded it into what it is today. She added the south wing, which houses our 20th century collection, the antique bisque dolls that children find so frightening, and the antique firearms are all on that side of the building. She then, in 2003, oversaw the addition of the north wing, which houses our 19th century European works, as well as our modernist gallery, and the fairy tale gallery, which tends to be a favorite of locals, is also on that side of the building. When Junior started the foundation, he wrote a beautiful letter. not a letter by my standards, because I write quite a few emails, which tend to be 5 to 6 paragraphs at most. His letter ended up being 7 pages. But this letter is beautifully written about what a progressive museum for the city of Shreveport should be. It winds on and on about things that families should be able to do in our community, what educational resources should be available to people who live in Shreveport-Bossier, what students should be able to learn about pieces of artwork, and why the artwork is there in the first place. So throughout this, you'll notice quotes from R.W. Norton Jr.'s letter, and you'll find he is a very smart man with a very distinct plan that somehow over the years has started to lose its way, and it's finding its way back now, which is the best part of the entire experience for me. I'm proud to be part of the new Norton, the Norton that's really going to contribute to your children and to the future of Shreveport. Part of the museum that I want to talk about, of course, is the gardens. It's been quite the hot topic, so if anybody wants to ask the big question when I'm finished, you're more than welcome to. I know it's coming, so I'm prepared for it. But there are 40 acres of gardens. The gallery sits on 44 acres, tucked away in the South Highlands neighborhood. It was purchased specifically for the purpose that it would be in a neighborhood where families would want to spend time. They could walk to the museum if they felt the need to or the urge to. And personally, I really like it that way. It's nice to be able to have a picnic lunch outside instead of eating in crowded restaurants all the time. The permanent collection is a European and American collection. Our European works include pieces by Rodin, Rosa von Her, and her 2 brothers. We also have all types of, we have 6 tapestries which are currently being taken by our conservators in New Orleans to be cleaned. They hadn't been cleaned in about 50 years. Imagine if you did vacuum for 50 years. Wow. But we have all types of Lanolalier sculptures. We have a lot of Barbizon pieces. You can see the piece on the left is the Rosa von Her. It's a Barbizon piece. The one at the top is from the Quentin Tarantino of French sculpture. He is quite famously known for his animals eating other animals. While most Lanolaliers worked specifically in the form of an animal, and they were concerned with the anatomy of them, Barre particularly liked to show what animals did with other animals, mostly consuming them. So the kids really enjoy those, actually. You'll also notice the piece on the bottom right. That is a piece by Jacob van Ruysdael. It is the oldest piece we have in the entire museum. It was painted in 1650. The clouds on that piece are lead white, so it's technically illegal to create something like that any longer, which is really impressive. Our American works range from the early days of America. So we've got Scholars and Statesmen at the gallery, which has important American history figures. So we have George Washington's portrait, Benjamin Franklin, Rodin. We have George Washington and Marquis de Lafayette in there as well. There's really amazing pieces in there. We also had a Civil War gallery for a long time. The Civil War gallery has since been disassembled and scattered throughout the building, but we'll talk about that when we talk about the renovations in just a moment. We also have beautiful sculptures. On the left, you see a sculpture of Fragilina by Attila Picciarelli. This is the only sculpture that he ever designed himself. On the right, you see the famous Marilyn Monroe. It is always fun to take a picture with her. We quite frequently catch people doing that. Like I said, we're known for our Western works. We have the 2nd largest collection of Remingtons in the world. Probably, I would say we're tied for first of the Russells. The Remington and Russell Gallery has since been consolidated. There used to be 2 separate galleries, but it really gives you an idea of how to compare the 2 artists. They were contemporaries and they worked mostly in the same mediums, but they had 2 very different viewpoints. Frederick Remington was studying art at Yale. He was very well brought up. His father was a colonel for the Union in the Civil War. Charlie Russell suffered from a severe learning disability called dysgraphia and could not read at all. Could not write. And so most of his letters that he wrote to people look similar to my son's 6-year-old handwriting and very misspelled. But he was able to depict the way he felt about the West through artworks. And he was a cowboy through and through. Remington liked to play cowboy. Russell was actually a cowboy. And so it's fun to compare their works as well. The Norton Research Library opened the year before last. The research library houses our Audubon book, as well as 13,000 other rare and antiquarian books. There are 12 display cases, and the library is open on the weekends, so you can come in any Saturday or Sunday. There's a 1 o'clock tour that's offered to anyone who comes in the gallery. So it will give you a little history of the architecture of the room itself and the collection that's in there. And then you're free to roam or read in the library as you see fit. It is a beautiful room. People oftentimes just walk in and they want to know who made the table, where did the vaulting come from, what kind of wood is that? Oh, I'm sorry, what kind of wood is that? It is absolutely spectacular. I like to sneak up there and read and get away from my desk every once in a while. We're also known for our firearms. There are 158 firearms upstairs on display in the South Wing. There are about 23 dolls on display upstairs. The firearms, the 158 doesn't even touch the surface. When I tell you Junior wanted to be a cowboy, he wanted to be a cowboy. There are about 2,000 in the collection. So we'll hopefully start rotating this pretty soon. If you've been in the Norton in the last 18 months, you've noticed some pretty strong changes that have happened in the building. The gallery now has colorful walls, and it is completely being reformatted. Instead of walking to just a Remington gallery, you will now walk into the Scholars and Statesmen, which gives you a chronological history timeline of America via art. You'll also walk into, say, an antiquities gallery on the European side. We've acquired Egyptian pieces, Roman pieces. We have a mosaic from the 3rd century BC. We're starting to acquire more and more pieces to provide people a comprehensive timeline of themselves as humans, making the art far more relatable to them than just a pretty picture on the wall. Which we can all appreciate the beautiful things, but when you bring in the human element of it, the stories become really, really interesting and fascinating, and they keep bringing people back. And it's great for our educational uses as well. It makes things a lot easier when you're doing tours because you're not darting back and forth across the building. You're in one gallery, and essentially each gallery becomes a tour or a movement unto themselves, which is so helpful for me because I'm lazy and I hate to walk that much. The Oral History Project is something I wanted to mention to you guys. Our OHP project is amazing. We've acquired hundreds of stories of locals who fought in wars, worked in the oil field at some point, are important in the Louisiana music scene. It just goes on and on and on. And these are gentlemen or ladies who don't necessarily get a chance to tell their stories. So they tell their story to us, and then we transcribe that. We provide them a copy of the transcript, and then we keep a record for ourselves. And we find it a huge conviction to ensure that these veterans and their stories stay with us, and that we make sure that we can keep them as part of our community long after they're gone, and we can ensure that people will know their stories, and America will know their stories. We're in the process of building a book. They're in a big process of building a book. It's taken forever. But there's a lot of stories to tell, so that's okay. The education department is our primary focus, and there is a lot more slides about the education department because that is primarily what I work with. The education department at the Norton is new. We're about 3 years old. I've been there for a little over 2. Junior felt that to create good citizens for the city of Shreveport, you have to start with the children. And if you want to create good citizens, you need to start with their character. And so that is what we do at the gallery. We are convinced that the best way to teach the arts to students is to teach them in cross-curricular, developmental ways. So we tie art in with math, English language arts, science, social studies, historical aspects. It is the best way to make art relatable to students because that's what they're immersed in every day at school. And they feel such a need to be in the gallery when they have fun there. They feel such ownership of the gallery when they know that they've contributed something to that place. And it's a lot of what I felt as a kid. I was so proud to say that I had been to an art museum when I was younger. I distinctly remember telling my friends, yeah, you went and played soccer? I went to a museum. It just made me feel so proud that I was cultured in some way. And that's what we see with students that we work with now. Our education department services almost 5,000 students a semester. We're a very busy group of 4 people, but I wouldn't change it for anything. It is great to see those kids walk in the museum. Their faces light up because of all the new colors. They want to read all of the quotes on the walls and ask us what they mean or who that person was. I'll never forget the 2nd grader who asked me who Bono was. Those are the things that open up discussions for us to be able to talk to kids about anything they can possibly fathom, and it's great. Sometimes it can get you in trouble, but it's great most of the time. The programs that we offer in the education department are really wide ranged. We offer field trips. We like to call them one-hit wonders, an homage to Vanilla Ice. But these are groups that come in just with kind of a set goal to meet their curriculum needs for the year. We get a lot of high school fine art groups that just need to kind of see some fine art as opposed to being in the classroom and looking at slides. We have lots of middle school groups that want to come in and just see what a sculpture is, and those groups are great. We love having those groups. What really fuels us are our partnership groups. We have partnerships with a Title I school in town. We also have a partnership with a gifted program in Bossier Parish. We have a partnership with the Louisiana Association for the Blind, where we work with adults who are losing their vision and helping them cope with that. It's kind of endless for us, and we love to partner with groups. We focus on people who get the vision, who understand that arts are integrated into everything that we do. And those groups tend to work best for us. You can see here on the left-hand slide, you're actually down in the basement of the gallery where we store all the really fun stuff. Those are our rolling racks that we store our paintings on. These students are taking images off of those paintings and writing a 3-minute script of what happened just before that image was taken. So they write the script and they have to explain the story of what is happening before them via theater, and then we snap a picture of them posing as that picture, and we provide them a copy of that picture when they're done. So they have to come up with all of their costuming, they have to write their script, they have to sign characters, and they get to be in the basement, which was probably their best. The favorite part about being there was they got to go to a place nobody gets to go. And they love that. On the right-hand side, you can see them picking some costuming. This is the Green Acres Middle School AIM group. They come between 3 and 4 times a year and spend a day with us. We've done impressionist lessons with them, where we've colored on sandpaper and created impressionist pieces. We've done script writing with them. We've done a taxation without representation lesson with them, where somebody got to be the king and steal everyone's M&Ms for silly reasons, like you have on purple tennis shoes, give me all your money. The kids really enjoyed that and made it very relatable for them. We also have camps throughout the summer. This is our robotics camp. We offer between 3 and 4 camps every year, all different. Robotics is a 2-week camp. It's a half-day camp. These students come in, they have to have 1 year of robotics experience. They come in, we do an art history curriculum with them, as well as a robotics building and programming lesson with them. They choose a piece from our permanent collection. They break that piece down into geometric shapes, and then they recreate that piece to exhibit upstairs. They have to program the robots to draw that piece. It is really fascinating to see these kids trying to figure out how they're going to create something out of just very basic geometric shapes and what their robot is actually capable of doing. They also do an exhibition presentation at the end of the 2 weeks where they do some public speaking and we feed them. It's always a good incentive for those kids. So robotics has been one of our most well-received programs that we've done at the gallery. This is our 2nd year doing it. This camp filled up and we had about a 14-student waiting list. So we were really proud of that this year. This year we held a spy camp as well. Spy camp was focused on coding and ciphers, and so we were working with math skills with those students. This camp was primarily built of Title I students that we'll be mentoring throughout this upcoming school year, so that helped us kind of build a good rapport with them before they started coming during the school year. So we spent 2 weeks with them. At the end of camp, they had to do a coding and ciphering scavenger hunt throughout the museum, and then they figured out that they are the true secret of the Norton. The gallery was always built for the next generation to enjoy, and that's what they figured out at the end. It was really powerful to see. We also host a theater camp every year. That's our longest camp. It's 3 weeks. The past 2 camps have been focused on ancient cultures. So the year before last we did Greek camp. That's the picture that you see on the far left is their Greek performance of the Iliad. On the rest of the slides are from Egyptian camp this year. Before anybody asks, yes, those are mummified Barbies. It was very fun to do. My son was a little freaked out when I came home with the mummy, but it was a blast. I think I had more fun with that than they did, actually. But they're responsible for building their sets, doing all of their character development and research, as well as their costuming. We focus on student-driven camps, so while we kind of point them in the right direction, we want students to problem solve and figure out how to make these camps go off smoothly, hopefully, and how they can progress and move in a team-style fashion. The education department considers itself a team. We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses, and we want students to realize that they're going to be the same way in the community. Everyone in here has a strength that they're really great at, and you should excel at that and offer that service to people. Everybody has a weakness that maybe you shouldn't be so good at, and you shouldn't offer to people to help with. And that's one of the things we want the kids to realize, is you are great at some things. While you may lack at a couple things, you can really offer your services and work well with your team. And so all of our camps are student-driven in this format. We do offer public service tours. The first Saturday tours are the first Saturday of every month. And they are on a 3-year rotation. As we develop the gallery and finish the remodel, they will change drastically over the next few years. The next tour will be the Halloween tour. My counterpart, Emily Fizel, will be doing it. She looks exactly like Whitney with longer hair. So if you get there, it's not me. She just looks just like I do. People often get us mixed up and confused. And they pretty much always ask us if we're sisters. We are not. We just look a lot alike. So thank you guys for listening so much. I put the tours for the next few months up there if you want to look at them. Anything piques your interest, you're more than welcome to. We'd love to see you guys there. Okay, let's do questions. Who wants to ask the photography question? It's coming.
Well, I just wanted to know what show is up now and what's the show after this one?
Okay, so the exhibition that's up right now is called Where Will You Travel Next? It's the Caston collection. Alex Caston lives in South Carolina, and he's a very amazing guy. He came down to view his collection. The next show that we have planned is not actually planned yet. We're thinking we're going to do an in-house exhibition, so I would check our website to see what the next one will be. We have a kind of a lull between shows, so we're looking at some of the pieces that we can curate from downstairs that haven't been shown upstairs. The Caston collection will be there until the 27th of October. They're classic European academic style paintings. They're beautiful. What I find most impressive personally are the frames. They're all 18th century museum style gilt frames. They are beautiful. So if you have an appreciation for that, it is a show that you don't want to miss at all. They're absolutely gorgeous. And it takes up 2 of our traveling exhibition galleries. So it's a pretty good show. So the gardens are, they're maintained by a team of 7 landscapers. We have a master gardener on staff. Her name's Kip DeHart. Kip is a genius. I can't grow anything. I'm lucky my son reminds me to feed him. She tries to change the plants every season. And so you will constantly see things changing out there. I do know that there is a plan to expand a little bit in the back with the water features, but I don't know when that exactly is going to happen. Most of you probably noticed the fence that's gone up around the gallery. It's not 30 feet. It is a beautiful fence. And it's just there to kind of remind people that it is private property. And we like to maintain the gardens, and we want them to stay beautiful. And there are hours that you're allowed to be out there. We love when people use the gardens, but they were being misused a little bit, so that's why the fence is there now. We did have to cut down one tree, but it was kind of sad. Everybody was a little upset about that. But the gardens will continue to change every season. Hi. Hi.
Is there a possibility that the education room will be open to the public sometime soon? I'll try to take 2 or 3 people, and I know you do the groups.
When she's speaking of, we have a classroom downstairs that was designed by Liz Allen and Jim Hayes. It is a beautiful room. It really affords us the ability to do things like mummify Barbies without pieces of artwork or how that could potentially be damaged. And so it's great. It has a stage, it has a cafe, it has a library. It is closed to the general public. We only use it for educational things. We do house luncheons and so there's an opportunity. We have been having a lot of ladies groups come in, ADK groups in particular, to have luncheons down there. And we're always more than that in the library or in the classroom, but it's not open to the general public. If I had a nickel for every time somebody asked me if I could have a birthday party down there.
Any other questions?
Anything else?
Wait.
Say it again. I knew it was coming. Okay, so here's the thing about photography. Photography has been a persistent problem for us, not just for the last couple of years, for about a decade. The gallery is privately funded by the Norton family, and it is such a gift to the community. The gallery is meant to be an educational institution, and while the gardens are a great asset to the community, the gardens do cost us maintenance. You could see our water bill. Ooh, Lord. Repairing the gardens from people misusing them has become a persistent problem for years. The sheep that appear at the gardens for photographs tend to be a bit of an issue. The writing on the side of the building became a problem. At some point, our board just felt it was necessary to ban photography. It costs us a lot of money to repair what is damaged by not only professional but amateur photographers, and you can't really ban one without the other. So the decision was made across the board by our board of directors to institute a no photography policy unless for educational purposes. I know it kind of took everybody back a little bit. It made me a little heartbroken because I have pictures of Trayson from the time he was very small up until 6 months ago there. But we feel like it's best for the future of the gallery and the educational institution that it is, and to ensure its future, not to allow photography any longer. It became hazardous to the people who were taking photographs out there and dangerous. It was dangerous for our employees. It became quite a hassle for people to have to deal with. And while it breaks our heart a little bit, it's the way it's going to be for the foreseeable future. I know there have been talks of permits and stuff like that. At this point, the gallery is not really in a position to sell permits or to allow permits. So for right now, the stance on that is not really. That may change at some point, I hope it does. But as of now, the gallery and its employees are doing what we feel is best for the future of the museum. We do not. The museum has a no rental policy. So there are no weddings outside. It would be beautiful. And there's nowhere inside that we offer like cocktail hour or anything like that. There is a plan, hopefully in the future, for an expansion of the museum. That would allow us to shut in some of the artwork and keep it safe without having to open up the entire building. And at that point, there would be an opportunity for rental space as well as an opportunity for an auditorium there as well. So that's something that we're really looking forward to, and we're hoping we move in that direction quickly. But as of right now, it's not available.
How is the leadership set up as far as providing that vision that Mr. Norton Jr. provided? Is there some person out there that's like a super visionary?
We do have a bit of a visionary. Our director on the board of control is Lewis Norton, so it's Junior's son. Lewis and his wife, Miss Ruth, are amazing people, quite frankly. They have 2 children who live here in town, and they really drive the museum. People are always surprised when I say Lewis is at the museum every day. I think they have this idea that he hangs out these all day long, fishes or something. But he's at the museum the same hours I'm there working, with no salary at all. He knows that this is his family's legacy for our community, and he wants to ensure that it's done the way his family wanted it to be done, which is why we've gone back to this educational idea. He wants something that his kids can be proud of when they take over the museum one day. So it's great to see the scary Norton start to shed away a little bit and have kids playing in the hallway there.
Thank you.